Western journalists from the United States were trying to figure out what it was that made them so dominant. And so they interviewed the coaches. And the coaches said, it's a difference in philosophy. You see, you have your American Western philosophy. We have an Eastern philosophy when it comes to training. And they said, well, please give us an example of what you mean. So he said, in America, if you had a guy that had a really strong forehand and an unbelievably weak backhand, and he was training 10 hours a day, you would spend 8 of those 10 hours bringing his backhand up to speed so that he would have a strong backhand as strong as his forehand. He said, in China, if we had someone who had a very strong forehand and a very weak backhand, and we trained for 10 hours a day, we would train him 10 hours a day on his forehand only. And they said, hold on a second, that doesn't make any sense. If he's got a weak backhand and a strong forehand, why would you spend all of your time training his strength? And they said it's simply because of this. When someone has a natural gift or a natural gift or a natural strength, they tend to enjoy using it. It changes the way that they show up because they love using their strengths. Their strengths actually give them a significant advantage. And so where you would bring a guy in America up to speed so he would be overall pretty decent, pretty average, we focus on nothing but the strength of our player. And when his strength has been poured into, trained for so long, that strength becomes so incredibly dominant that his weakness does not have an opportunity to show up. And that's how we dominate. Now think about that for a minute. All of us are given gifts of different types of strengths, and we know usually what they are. Do you enjoy speaking to people? Do you enjoy speaking in front of people? Do you enjoy working on computers? Do you enjoy sitting in the office for hours and hours and hours at a time behind a computer? What do you enjoy doing? Normally what you do better than anybody else when you're doing it naturally will give you an indication of what your strength may be. And it may take some people a lifetime to discover their strengths. So a challenge that I have for our coaching clients in the Voice of One coaching program is determining where their strengths lie. Now listen, it's not that you can't do all of those things and you never will. It's just that one gives you energy, empowers you, and truly sets you apart from your competition. Yesterday is a fantastic example. My son was given a gift for his birthday that had about a bazillion parts on it, and it had to be all cut up and put together and intricately weaved together. You can see it on yesterday's Facebook post. It was grueling to me. Have me stand in front of 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people and speak, no problem. Have me sit down at a kitchen table for 2 hours with little bitty tools and little bitty equipment trying to put something together, and it was not a great experience for me doing that. The joy that I took was hanging out with this dude right there. It was a relationship thing for me, so I made it work. Because see, when your why is big enough, you can push through the things that you hate doing and that you do not enjoy doing. When your why is big enough, why are you doing it? What's the reason behind it? So in real estate, for instance, we have people who have natural giftings of communication, articulation, explaining complicated situations to people in a way they can understand. Then we have folks that are not so much people oriented, but they just love the idea of real estate, that don't have a natural advantage when it comes to creating relationships and developing a successful real estate career, yet they can still be highly successful if their why is big enough, why they're doing it is big enough. So the ideal circumstance is that you know what your strength is, you lock into your strength, you pour out everything you can into that strength, and you do not, now this is just a philosophy, you don't have to follow this philosophy. Steve Jobs did, Richard Branson did, Elon Musk did, you've got, Warren Buffett. Only the people that are highly successful will buy into this philosophy. So you don't have to buy into this philosophy by any means. You can choose to believe whatever you want to believe and live however you want to live. I'm just making you aware of what the highest achievers have focused on. The highest achievers have focused on not trying to lift up their weakness so that they can have kind of a rounded, well-rounded Renaissance man life. They focus intensely and aggressively, giving an inordinate amount of time, effort, energy, and resources to developing and polishing their strength or their gift so that it becomes so dominant Now get this, it even happens in real estate. If somebody's super, super amazing and great at cultivating and developing relationships and solving problems and articulating complications to folks that they can understand that, and they're consistent, then guess what? You can do at some point in your real estate career that we coach our clients to do. You can hire somebody who is super, super, super talented, who it's their gift, doing the stuff that you hate doing, that you are not good at. Now you have the opportunity to build a team of individuals that all have a strength that they bring to the table, and everybody else is focused on their strengths. My weakness is her strength. Her weakness is my strength. And we are working together in our strengths. Ladies and gentlemen, the sky's the limit. Now, for those of you that remember the original Star Trek, the reason I had my first picture, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a social media manager, is because most of us are trying to do a whole lot of things, and we're not super good at a whole lot of things. We're good at a couple of things. And I remember old Bones, the doctor in Star Trek, when I used to watch with my father. When you think about the DISC profile, or understanding your personality profile and the personality profile of your clients, Captain Kirk was a high D, Mr. Spock was a high C, you had Bones was an S, and you had Scotty was an I. All four were working together to create an incredible team. And that team leveraged each other's strengths and weaknesses so that all four together came to create a powerful force. So let me tell you what I tell my kids often. I had this conversation this morning with one of these guys over here. I know, Dad, I know, when I was telling him what to do. And I have this saying in our home: less knowing and more doing. Less knowing and more doing. I don't want to hear what you know. I truly don't care what you say you know. What you know should be manifested in evidence by doing what you know. So it's not that most people don't know what to do, it's figuring out why you're not doing what you know to do. And I want you to understand this very, very, very clearly. When you discover your strengths, when you focus on and know what your strengths are, then you can show up in this life with a distinct and incredible advantage that will assist you in growing your life in service to other people. You see, when your strength is used in service to other people, it reaches maximum capacity, and you get to enter into maximum fulfillment, moving from success to significance. Think about that, from success to significance. True significance is found in using your gifts and talents in service to other people. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you today with what I talk to my children about all the time. I'm not super impressed at all with what you know. Show me that you do what you know so that you can live the biggest life possible. Have a great day, guys.